Grace, mercy, and peace be from God as we meditate on His Word this afternoon. And may this meditation be pleasing to Him. Amen. Hey, Pastor Chris here, sitting in my home office on this kind of day that was a little snow, a little ice. Roads ended up not being as bad as maybe people expected, but I imagine most people are at home today and have enjoyed kind of a day refreshing at home. I know that I am looking kind of very casual right now, and I've just got done with a workout, but this is kind of intentional because I want us to talk today a little bit about kind of being tired, being worn out, and after a workout and out in the cold weather, I'm feeling a little winded right now, a little tired. I need my water. I need some rest, and I need to kind of recharge my batteries after that. And you know, whether it's after a long workout, whether it's after a busy day or week at work, or just a really difficult season in one's life, sometimes we reach those points in our lives where we just kind of feel weary. And it just dawned on me as we're moving into the new sanctuary, in the newly remodeled sanctuary this weekend, how weary a lot of people are feeling, how much this last 2 years, it's almost 2 years since we had to cancel worship services and go in person and go online. And that's been a long process for a lot of people, and it's weighed heavy. I mean, there's been lives lost, there's been jobs lost, there's been a lot of weariness, and which brings us to, we're getting ready for Ash Wednesday next week. There's a lot going on right now at Bethel with the moving into the sanctuary. We're going to be offering next Wednesday a family chapel for our ELC families in the afternoon as part of our Ash Wednesday day. So it's going to be with moving the sanctuary, got to have chapel in the sanctuary this last Wednesday with the kids. They were kind of the ELC kids, were the first kids to get to have service in there. It was really exciting. So even though we're kind of feeling this kind of paradox, this dichotomy between really kind of exhausted. It's been a long process. It's taken longer to get back in the sanctuary than we thought. It's taken longer to do a lot of things than we thought. And yet we're excited about some of these new things. And this kind of brings us to Ruth. We're going to be doing 6 weeks on Ruth. Not starting this Sunday, but following Ash Wednesday, starting Ash Wednesday the following Wednesday. We're going to be doing 6 weeks on Ruth. Ruth. I know it's backwards because of the way the video is going, but Ruth from the Old Testament. It's a book that doesn't get preached on a lot necessarily in the normal rhythm of things. It doesn't show up a lot in the readings, but it's a super important book of the Bible. One is because it just shows how even in the Old Testament, God uses the extraordinary faith of women to get His will done, to fulfill His promises, and Ruth is a reminder of that through Ruth, through her mother-in-law Naomi, and through the way the whole story unpacks. I don't want to give too much of the story away today, but it even ties this Sunday as the Sunday of the Transfiguration, when we see Jesus, transfigured into His glorious state with Moses and Elijah there, and yet we're reminded that Ruth is a direct, lineage to Jesus. That Jesus, Ruth shows up in the family tree of Jesus in a really cool way, so that there's even a connection there. And that's why we're doing Ruth this time. But there's back to this idea of kind of being tired, being exhausted, being weary of the hustle, because as my shirt says, sometimes we just feel like we're on our last straw. We feel like we just don't have much else to give. Sometimes if you watch athletes at the end of a match and they're just wiped out, and there's so many other ways in which that happens in our lives. Trying to chase your kids around the house all day, or your grandkids, or just like I said, a long day at work or something like that. And then the basic story of Ruth is this. And once again, we'll unpack this a lot more. We have 6 weeks of Bible studies and 6 weeks of sermons on this topic, and I hope you get a chance to sign up for one of those this weekend and get as involved as you can. But the basic story is this. You have this lady, Naomi. She has her and her husband in the time of a famine go away they leave Israel for another land, and while they're at this other land, Moab, their sons meet Moabite wives, and so they have, but no one has kids, and then the father, the husband, and then the 2 sons all die. So all Naomi is left with kind of being in charge of or taking care of her two daughter-in-laws in a time when women didn't have a lot of rights. They didn't have and so Naomi felt her only course of action was to go back to Israel, to go back to her homeland and try to find a relative that could take care of her. So she encourages her daughter-in-laws to do the same, and the first one does go back crying, and it's really emotional time. But Ruth, who becomes the main character of this book, and even, like I said, an ancestor to Jesus himself, says, no, I'm going to stay with you. Or, where you go, I'll go. Your God will be my God. And we'll have a Sunday where we unpack that whole thing. But there's something in that where when Naomi is telling these girls to go, telling her daughter-in-laws, it says, maybe God will deal with you in a positive way as you go. Maybe he will bless you. And she says that it is exceedingly bitter for me, for your sake, that the hand of the Lord has gone against me. And sometimes that's translated as that the Lord has dealt harsh against me. And she basically feels that in order for these girls to have a future, that they're better off without her. And Ruth shows amazing loyalty. And you kind of think this whole family, speaking of exhausted, they're just wiped out. They've lost the father-in-law, husband, the two sons, the husbands. This family's got to feel just completely wiped out, and these three ladies, and yet they find the strength to, Naomi and Ruth, to go back to Israel and to find redemption, and to find a new beginning, and to be a part of the story of Jesus and the part of God's redemption plan in a very cool way. So for those of you that are feeling a little weary right now, for those that these last 2 years have been exhausting, I want you to just find rest and find some excitement and some enthusiasm and some of the new things that are happening, and dig into this story of Ruth. Dig into this story of God using this woman and this whole family and this guy named Boaz to be a part of his redemptive history. And I think we'll all find rest and kind of new excitement. Not just goes with the remodeling of a sanctuary and some of the new ministries that are going to come out of that, but also just for your families and for your personal time. So hope you're having a great week. Hope you're staying warm out there, and stay safe, and we'll see you on Sunday, or see you next time. Pastor Chris.